Let me know when we're ready.
We are live. We're live now, Cara.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I am in a
Hello.
vlog. It's my son's birthday party tonight, so I'm taking a little time out, but we're gonna end the show just a little bit, a few minutes early, just so I can spend the rest of his birthday with him.
Oh, that's great. Tell him happy birthday for us.
I will. Big 29. Next year is the big 30.
Oh, my goodness. I
Gotta
Yeah.
have
be
one
that
that's
age
going to
again.
be, oh, I know. I have one that's going to be 27 in October. And then at Thanksgiving, my other one will be 42, I think.
Oh, wow.
My
41,
youngest will be
42.
my youngest will be 20 this year. It's
You're so
like, can
young.
y'all just stop? Just stop. Just stop. That's all I want. Just stop.
I know. Yeah, they don't though. So I'm excited about talking about ghost stories and all that. Can I show everybody my pre-birthday gift?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
you guys, look what I got. This is like really cool. I love my purses, and I found on Unique Vintage. I found a bat purse because
I
I
love
see
it.
everybody with the skull ones, and I go, wow, it was really a good price, an excellent price. And so yeah, I went ahead and did that. I said, I'm worthy. I'm buying that for myself. So yeah.
Debbie's gonna start a trend with bat purses.
Everybody's going to have a bat purse for you, a bat purse for you. Matter of fact, starting in September, we're going to be doing giveaways every Saturday.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm so excited, and I have lots of things to give away. And so we're going to be giving some hell notes away, and I'll show those off next time. And I'll be mailing those out. I'll see if I can get some international stamps so I can, anybody could win them.
Yeah.
But I got some other things. I got some other things that we can give away. So it's going to be giveaway month. You guys need to come, but we're going to ask you guys to either comment, make a post and comment, or share the show, and you'll be in for a prize. It's going to be
Yes.
really fun. I love giving stuff away. Sometimes I start and I give a whole bunch of stuff away. So back in the day when Andy Benson and I did the show, we'd have Taco Day, and we give out Taco Bell gift cards, and we should do that again. And Dairy Queen, I send everybody in the summer. I'm giving everybody an ice cream. I'd send a $5 gift card out so that everybody could have an ice cream. Always fun. So we're going to do a lot of splurging. We'll do a lot of splurging in September every Saturday. We'll give away prizes, so it'll be fun. Can't wait.
Absolutely. Now,
Okay, well, how are we going to start this?
we are going to kick off with my fact or fiction this week. I've got the fact or fiction story. And so I will tell the story. And then at the end of the show, or periodically through it, you can tell uh, Debbie in the comments, I believe it's fact, I believe it's fiction. And then we will, at the end of the show, we'll let you know who was right and who fell for the misguided.
I have one too.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You are telling a ghost story tonight too, and so is Brandy. So it's going to be fun.
I'm not going to tell a ghost story. I have a fact or fiction.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
we're doing two facts or fictions tonight. Okay.
All
We're
right.
No,
Well,
kicking it
then,
off
I mean,
strong.
absolutely. I thought everybody was going to do one, and then we figure out, what it is. But that's fine.
that's
No,
that.
I have one.
That's no problem. I'm going to go first, and then we're going to shoot to Debbie and her fact or fiction, so everyone has time to figure out. So my story relates to a couple who, let's just say that they didn't believe in birth control. They had 6 children in quick succession. They were only about a year and a half apart, each one of them. And they moved in to this huge Victorian, well, it was Queen Anne Victorian. If you've seen those with the wraparound porches and the porticos and everything. They moved to this huge house because her husband said, he was gonna work on it, fix anything up. And it was big enough for the entire family to where each child would have a room. That's how big it was. And they of course didn't have that many bathrooms, but there were 8 rooms that could be used as bedrooms. So that was good. And anyways, they had, she was a stay-at-home mom. She homeschooled the kids. She did gardening. She did all these things, but strange things started. What? Hang on. What?
Zach wants me to get some shot glasses.
Oh, I don't know
Should be
what.
in the floor in here.
Okay, well, go ahead and look. Anyways, I'm so sorry. They're looking for shot glasses so they can toast my son.
That's nice.
And anyways, we get to where she's home and he's working long hours, well into the night till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And there's been some things around town where people have been reporting, strange occurrences at their house, people trying to break in and things. So when she starts hearing noises in the house, she starts to worry, especially coming from their basement area and the attic. So she starts getting a little scared. And her husband tells her, it's just the house settling. It's all the work that I'm doing. And, it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. The house is secure. We have an alarm system. Everything is fine. You put the alarm system on at night. And so one day, by 2 o'clock in the morning, he gets home from work. All 6 children are home alone, sleeping, but his wife is nowhere to be found. He looks through the entire house. He calls the police. He makes a police report. So they have a missing persons report, and they never find anything. And the kids start noticing someone touching them at night, like stroking their hair or covering them up with their blanket if their blanket was off of them. Little nice things. The husband, not so much. He was feeling some very dark energy attaching itself to him. Glasses would fly off of the countertop. His bottles of alcohol in this, old bar that he had built, this cabinet bar, they would just fly off and the alcohol would shatter all over the place. And about 6 months after his wife disappeared, he filed papers for desertion. And of course, they ran everything in the papers so that he could file for divorce, because apparently he had a woman lined up to marry already. Now, when this woman moved into the house, things got really bad. Her 2 children were tormented. She was tormented. She couldn't even, when she went down and did laundry, she'd go back upstairs and she'd hear this rattling on the the washer, and she'd go down and all of the wet clothes would be splattered all over the basement floor. And there was one time where she had gotten into the shower and the water turned boiling hot and burned her back.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And so she told him, she said, look, either you sell this damn house or we're getting a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And so she divorced him. And he ended up losing the children to his wife's family because he became like paranoid and delusional and was holing up in the house, and the children weren't seen for weeks on end, and they weren't being fed properly and stuff. And eventually the bank took the house, and when a contractor bought the house and he was redoing, he was renovating, and he decided he was going to finish the basement, so he wanted to dig the floor deeper so that he could rate, so that it would be a taller ceiling height. When he busted up the concrete, he found skeletal remains.
Oh.
And he called the police immediately. So the crime scene crew came out, and it was wearing the wife's favorite uh, uh, nightgown and robe, and they did the DNA with the kids, and it was their mother. And eventually they got a confession out of him because he was bat crap crazy at this point, and he said she was there tormenting him, so he was going to tell them so that she would leave him alone. He came home early one night and he had to work a second 4-hour shift, and his wife and he got into an argument because she said she wanted to get a job and she wanted to put the kids in school, and he got so angry and infuriated that he strangled her right then and there in the kitchen, threw her body in the basement until he and went and did his shift, left the kids alone for that 4 hours, came back, dug where there was some dirt there where he had been remodeling the basement, buried her, and then poured concrete over it before he reported her missing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Hi, Carlos.
Hello,
It's so good to
Carlos.
see Carlos. Oh my gosh, we need to talk.
So
We need
yeah.
to talk. Yeah. Okay, I wrote down what I thought it was, and we're going to wait to the end to reveal that one.
Yeah. So you let me know if you believe this is a true paranormal story or a true story at all, or if you believe that this came out of the wind, so to speak. And we're going to shoot over to Debbie for her fact or fiction.
All right. This is a good one. Because it's fun to kind of make up stuff, and it's kind of fun to find facts and different things like that. So anyway, so there was a famous couple, singers, and it was Sonny and Cher, and I think everybody knows who they were. Very famous and had a great life together and all that, and then it came crashing down, right? And they parted ways. And Sonny passed away, and Cher just tells everybody that she knows that the ghost of Sonny Bono comes to her Malibu home, beach home, and communicates with her. And she just like, really, really, yes, Sonny comes and sees me, and he's talking to me. And how they communicate, she said, is from the electric chandelier. She said the chandelier is Sonny talking to her from the great beyond. So that is my short story. And at the end, we'll ask you, is it fact or fiction? And that's it, Cara.
And Cara, I think, doesn't know she's muted.
I couldn't get my thing unmuted. I kept clicking on it. It didn't move. I'm like, here, I'm trying to do it when you said that was, and I'm like trying to do it. I think I have a opinion, but we're gonna move on to Brandi's exciting regular story.
Well, actually, I have a fact or fiction that's always sitting on the burner. So,
Oh.
I'm good to go with fact or fiction tonight, too.
Okay, do it. Let's do it.
It's like I've always got stories lined up, ladies. I can be put on the spot. I'm good. So, I'm leaving mine vague until you guys make your guesses, and then if it's a real story, I will fill in the rest of the details. If it's not, then there's no real details to fill in, okay? So, an elderly couple wakes up one morning. The husband is on kidney dialysis, okay? The machine's in the house. The wife gets up out of bed because something has woken her up in the middle of the night. She's not really sure what it was. She doesn't remember hearing a sound or nothing. She's just woken up, unusually for her normal thing, and gets up. As she exits their bedroom and starts walking through the house, she's finding blood everywhere. On the walls, on the floor, on mirrors. It's just blood everywhere. So she calls 911. Cops come out there. They don't know what to expect. So they do a blood test on samples to see, is it a prank that somebody's doing to this couple and it's just animal blood or fake blood, or is it actually human blood? it comes back as positive for human blood. So all this blood throughout the whole house is human blood. Now, mind you, it's a lot. So you would think that whoever left that much blood would be laying on the floor incapacitated by this point. The theories range from it being from the husband's kidney dialysis machine, or a prank gone wrong. You know, kids have broke in because this is an elderly couple and they want to play prank on them. The blood type, however, comes back not matching either of the people in the house. Does not match them. No other paranormal thing has happened in this house other than that. Cops have no clue what is going on. Don't even know where to start their investigation. No signs of breaking and entry, nothing, right? So, the wife believes it is a paranormal event. Swears up and down that it is her grandparents sending her a message from beyond the grave. She just doesn't know what they're trying to tell her. I'd be worried myself, personally, if that was the message they're trying to send me.
Yeah.
Right.
But it never happened after they got it professionally cleaned. They had a crime scene clean team come through and clean it up, and it's never happened since. So is it real or fiction? Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction? That's a good one. I got to think on that one.
I, however, do have a real story if you guys would like it, because I didn't know.
Yes, I would.
Fiction.
Yes.
So, I have one for Mary Todd Lincoln. Now, I want to point out straight off that I am not covering the White House ghost sightings and stuff. I am specifically covering Mary Todd and the ghost that she has reportedly, or had reportedly seen and interacted with. Now, Mary was known as being quite eccentric for her time, day, and age. She did not have a very... People didn't like her. Let's put it nicely. They thought she was crazy. They did not care for her. She spent money lavishly, and that means the money that she earned or got being the president's wife. When everybody else was penny pinching because we're in war and all that, she's lavishly buying clothing and wardrobes and decorating the White House expensively. And that got her a lot of bad reputation with the general public and everything. Now, she did not have a great life, though. If you think about it, she lost 2 of her sons before she even lost her husband. That is a lot to take. I couldn't imagine losing, I have lost 2 kids. I couldn't imagine losing 2 kids and then my husband and then another kid, because her other son died after Abe died. So she pretty much lost almost everything. And what we would nowadays see as bipolar symptoms, manic depression, back then it was just seen as she was wild and unruly and really ran through the ringer, to the point where they put her in an insane asylum, and she had to fight to prove that she wasn't insane. But it all started with, in 1860, Abe saw his own reflection plus a mirror image of his reflection in a mirror. One was lifelike. It was his reflection. The other, however, was pale and sickly looking. And for him, he didn't really think much of this. But when he told Mary about it, she really was troubled by this account. And she prophesied that the sharper image indicated that he would serve out his first term. The faint ghost-like image was a sign, she said, that he would be renominated for his second term, but would not live to complete it. So she foresaw his death, or foretold his death. All right. I'm not going to go into the long old story. We all know what happened to Abe. He was shot by Booth. We know this. Prior to that, though, she had already started going to seances, trying to contact the 2 sons that she'd already lost and trying to talk with them. She believed in the afterlife. She wanted to reach out to them and speak with them. And she was doing these spirit circles and seances in the Red Room at the White House, which did not add to her overall public opinion of her. that just added to the craziness of her. After Abe died, the seances continued, except now she's also trying to contact Abe. There is also a photographer that is now proved to be a hoax, that he hoaxed and faked all of his photographs. But he took this famous photo of Mary Todd with Abe's ghost standing behind her. Now, we now know this is a fake photo. He doctored it. But back then, she believed that wholeheartedly, that Abe was standing there with her at all times. And she took that to the grave, that was fact. He was there. Now, and I also mentioned that her other son, I think his name was Tad, died when he was 18, which was after Abe's death. So she continued trying to even contact him afterwards. And it spiraled into big news stories back then that she had lost her mind and she was insane, to the point where they would not even give her a widow's endowment on the White House when her husband died, because they did not believe that she. You're muted, Debbie. I have no clue what you're saying over there. But they had no clue what she would do with the money, because she'd already proved that she was untrustworthy with the money. She even tried to scam to get money by selling fake clothing, saying it was hers and it was expensive when it wasn't. And that went nationwide, so people didn't trust her. She had accumulated all this debt, which was something she was not used to, because she came from a very rich family. She was already well established money-wise before meeting Abe. So life did not end well for her. She had a very sad life. And I feel sorry for her, because, like I said, nowadays we recognize mental illness. Back then, nobody did. And back then also, grief was not something that ladies did. They was very ladylike. They kept, especially ones that ran in the higher crowds, the well-to-do crowds. They were supposed to be distinguished in their grief. Mary was the complete opposite. She was throwing fits around the White House and bawling and crying. And, she was heartbroken. She watched her husband die in front of her, literally shot right next to her in this theater. I'm sorry, I'd be doing the same thing. I wouldn't be just like, oh, well, I couldn't do that. Yeah. So I feel bad for Mary. I just do. Another little fact that I find interesting is that there is a connection between Abraham Lincoln before he died and William Booth, which is interesting because not a lot of people know it. So I'm going to tell you it. So Booth came from a family of, John Wilkes Booth came from a family of famous actors. He wasn't one, but his brother Edwin was. Very popular actor in his time. What most people don't know is before Lincoln was assassinated, Edwin Booth saved Abraham Lincoln's son, Robert. Robert was waiting to get on a passenger train, and somebody shoved him off the platform onto the tracks. Right before he could be hit by the train, Edwin yanked him off the tracks and saved his life. So there is that connection between the Lincoln family and the Booth family. And then, of course, John turned around and killed Abe. So, but I just thought it was interesting. There was already a connection between the two families.
That is wild. It really is.
That's bizarre, just bizarre.
Yeah, talk about weird coincidences.
Right.
Maybe a glitch in the matrix. I don't know what you want to call it.
There's since we have time for another ghost story, and keeping with the presidential theme, did you guys know that Mount Vernon, where George Washington, his homeland, his plantation, do you know how haunted that is? And the hauntings go all the way back to when I think he was a mayor, or what was he? He was something. His last name was Quincy, Josiah Quincy.
Oh, that
name sounds
really familiar.
Bright-filled night. He actually went to Mount Vernon to see Washington's nephew, who was a Supreme Court justice at the time. And so I think his name was Bushrod. Yeah, Bushrod Washington. That's it. He inherited everything from his uncle George because, you know, George never had any biological children of his own that we know of. Let's put it that way. But he went there as a guest, and things took a paranormal turn. You know, he arrived there, and he was actually taken to Washington's bedchamber to spend the night. Right where his uncle had died, by the way. And for dramatic effect, Quincy Jr., which is Josiah's son, said that that Judge Washington had explained that there was a rumor that an interview with Washington had been granted in his chamber or something, but that Washington was still occupying the room. So he sets this guy up to be in this room and have all this weird crap happen to him at night. And so he decided that, you know, what the heck, I'll spend the night in this room. You know, I'll be brave and you know, talk and behold this glorified spirit, you know. But it didn't work out that Washington's ghost was very happy, I guess. During the night, he did see Washington, but it was more anguish or angry that he got out of the distinguished first president. Well, first elected president, let's put it that way. Yeah, so he just said that he would not stay there again. And he was actually, I guess he was no longer friends with Bushrod. You know, they became more of work acquaintances because whatever happened there that he didn't want to talk about didn't make Washington happy and didn't make him happy either. But Mount Vernon has been famous for people saying that it's haunted, and I don't think that anyone is allowed to stay there anymore now that it's, you know, more of a public museum of his birthplace, you know. But yeah, when it was still in Washington's family, odd occurrences happened, and it seems like they just kind of wanted to put people in that room, see what happens, you know.
Probably.
But yeah, I don't know if I'd go and hang. And the other thing too that's very weird is not only was it Washington's bedchamber, it was the same exact bed he died on.
Oh wow. Okay.
The same exact bed. They didn't have a service store where they could go and buy a new mattress after someone died. It was the same bed that he literally had died on. I would not sleep on that. I don't care how revered he was. No.
Same.
Yeah, wouldn't have happened. But let's get
so creepy.
Yeah, it is.
I couldn't.
Go ahead.
I couldn't ever do that either. You know, I can't even think about that. I always wonder about Abraham Lincoln's bed, you know, in the White House now. It's like, well, how many mattresses have you gone through, you know, with all these people? I don't want the original.
You know, interestingly enough, you know, with Brandi's story about Mary Todd and him, there's an interesting fact about, you know, the Lincoln haunting the White House, but Mary Todd has been seen there too.
Oh,
dressed all in black, like when she was mourning before she moved out of the White House.
Oh
yeah, that's why I said I wasn't going to cover. I wasn't covering the White House sightings, I was just covering the Mary Todd one because there is so many ghost sightings at the White House alone.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, what was it? Dolly Madison, you know, I think she was the first lady when the War of 1812 destroyed half of the White House.
Oh
I think it was
wow.
Dolly Madison. Um, it was either her or Abigail Adams, but I think it was Dolly Madison. And her ghost seen on the grounds, you know.
Do they see any of the presidents walking
Oh, yeah.
around?
Yeah.
Kennedy has been seen in the Oval Office, I think. Wasn't it Kennedy?
Pretty sure it was Kennedy.
And
Abe's been seen.
yeah, not George Washington. Shoot. Oh, was it? It was one of the ones that was assassinated. Was it Benjamin? Was it Harrison? One of the ones that was assassinated has been seen on the grounds or something. I think Kennedy has also been seen by the swimming pool.
Yeah. And
Oh wow.
like I said, Abe's been seen. I'm gonna say Roosevelt might have been.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right. I think people have heard the wheels of his wheelchair rolling.
Yeah. Oh, creepy stuff.
Yeah. Now, we can get back to our fact or fiction. Does anyone have a guess on what my story was? Was my story fact? Was it fiction? Was it a little bit of both?
I
And
can't
was
say
it
I
super-
know
Oh,
the
we don't have both.
Okay, was it supernatural or was it not?
Oh gosh. It seemed to me it seemed like it was supernatural in all the things that were going, and then when at the end I'm going, oh my gosh, it was crazy, murder, murder, murder. So
Yeah. So,
I thought you were telling the truth though.
okay, Brandi.
I can't say I know the answer.
Oh, that's right, you do. Okay, Carlos and the rest of you lovely people watching. Do you think, Helen, do you think that I was telling the truth or do you think the story was made up?
It was awfully crazy.
I don't see anyone guessing, so I'm just going to say it. I made the whole damn thing up. It came out of my crazy imagination.
It was you know how, what is it, like things that are factual are usually crazier, like life is crazier than fiction, and I thought it was just enough crazy.
Just enough crazy.
Yeah, I go, I think it's crazy. It would be the human crazy.
I
I'm
kind
sure
of-
all those things happened in real life somewhere.
I kind of drew. I kind of drew a little bit on taking bits and pieces of real stories. Like Drew Peterson, this former police officer in Illinois, he was convicted of killing his third wife, and his fourth wife, Stacy, is still missing. So he hasn't been charged with hers yet. But you know, it was kind of him, and it was also this family in Staten Island. I think it was Staten Island or Long Island. The brothers were renovating their mom's house to sell or something after she died, and their father had disappeared in 1961, and they literally found their father's remains in the basement.
Wow.
Buried in dirt. Yeah.
It really sounded, very plausible about the basement. I was like, that sounds like that happened. That's crazy enough. Good one, Cara. I see. Helen, I'm going to tell you really fast. My story for fact or fiction was that Sonny and Cher, famous couple, were together for a long time, had a close bond. Sonny died, but Cher still swears that Sonny's ghost comes back and talks to her, communicates. That Sonny Bono is communicating with her. And the way that they communicate is from an electric chandelier. Does that sound like fact or fiction to anybody?
I think the bond they had, I'm thinking it might be fact because of the bond that Sonny had with Cher.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking because they did have an amazing bond.
Helen, are you there? What do you think? Anybody watching? Because I see there's more people watching. Is that fact or fiction? Helen says it's fact. Everybody's right. Cher does say that through the blinking of her chandelier, that she is positive. She knows that Sonny's ghost is there and communicating with her. Helen says, I can believe it. It's true.
Oh yeah, I can too.
Yeah. I thought it might throw you with the electric chandelier. Like everybody's going, what? Nah, I don't know. Through the line. Yeah, she said it blinks and she communicates through that. And true story, I was over at my niece's house and she had tea and the tea bag was sitting on the table when the string that was down went straight up. We watched it straight up. And she asked if somebody was there and the light blinked. So she started talking through the light and she asked if it was her grandmother, blinking for yes. And she communicated with her grandmother, which happened to be my mother. So we had a conversation with her. But the first thing my mom did was to grab that tea string and tea bag string and bring it straight up into the air. True story. So yeah, that is believable that people talk through electronics and light because I do that with the ghost also. That was fun.
And now we have Brandi's interesting fact or fiction story to end the show with. Let's find out what everyone thought of Brandi's story. Is it
My
fact?
story was the elderly couple that woke up to find their house covered in human blood. So,
Ooh. Helen, what do you think? You know what? That's crazy. So it's crazy enough. I'm going to go. I shouldn't say yes, but I'm going to say yes. It's crazy enough. Well, wait a minute.
Well,
Human blood.
now remember,
All over?
I am the actual author who writes horror stories. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
I'm going to say this is a work of Brandi's immense imagination.
False. Yeah. Okay. I'll go with false.
So,
Oh, wait a
Anybody
minute.
else?
Helen's here. Helen's here. Here we go.
so everybody thinks it was fiction. It was fact.
Ah! Cara, you took me astray. How
So
could
it
that much
happened.
blood be all over?
It happened September 9th, 1987. Minnie woke up. Her name was Minnie Clyde, and she was married to her husband for 44 years. Woke up to her house covered in blood. To this day, they still don't know where all of that blood came from.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Believe it or not, the couple stayed in that house. They didn't move.
Oh,
I'd be like, nope, I'm out of here. That's enough for me.
Gosh. Oh, can you know, it's one of those things where somebody snuck in. Well, I think it was throw blood around. What the heck?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
oh, that is. Oh.
Well, you guys, we're going to be doing this every Saturday, fact or fiction. So we'll see where it goes. Everybody got mine. I have to be more creative or really dig for a really good story.
You gotta leave the names out because the names gave it away for me. It was
Oh no, because
it was that couple. That couple. It was so iconic.
Yeah.
but I mean, the ghost comes and they talk through a lamp.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they talk through flashlights, so
She does have that. She does have a lot of the Native American in her too, and a lot of the spirituality. So it wouldn't surprise me. It's probably why I believe 100%. Yeah.
Well, Helen, we're gonna have fact or fiction every week, and we're gonna have giveaways starting in September. Saturday shows in September. we're going to give good stuff away. I have a drawer full of really great stuff. Maybe some bling, maybe some hell notes. Hell notes for sure.
Oh, those are
Hell
fun.
notes all around.
Are we going to spin the wheel to see who gets fact or fiction next week?
Well, let's talk about that off the thing because I don't know what you mean, but let's talk about that off the when we're finished with the show.
Okay.
All right.
Need more information on what that is. Okay, Cara, I know that you have a birthday party to go to.
I do. My son is celebrating his 29th birthday, and he's got all 4 of his beautiful children here. And so they were all over Daddy, and I promised that I would be back a little early so that we could play some cards with Daddy. They want to play Uno.
Oh, okay. Well, you have a lot of fun. We're going to end the show early tonight, this time, but we'll be back with hopefully Sandra will be here and some other guests will come in, and we'll have fun doing fact and fiction, and we're going to do giveaways, and it's going to be great. So everybody will see you on our next show, and this was fun.
Definitely fun.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Cara, say goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Brandi.
Bye.
Bye-bye.